Before we start, please make sure to like this video and hit this subscribe button, so you never miss a story like this. And also comments where you are watching from, how many sons and daughters you have. Thanks.
My name is Lucas. I'm from a little coastal town in Oregon where salt lives in the air and silence travels faster than truth. And if you think blood is thicker than water, you've never had your family smile at you with one hand on your shoulder and the other holding a knife behind their back. You don't live here anymore, Lucas. It's not your house. Nora and Owen are moving in next week. My dad barked across the porch, his finger stabbing the air like he owned it. I stood there, fists clenched, heart punching my ribs, trying to breathe through the heat rising in my chest. I rebuilt this house, I said, voice trembling with rage. I paid for it when you begged me. 40 grand. Remember that? My savings. Every damn cent. You said it would be mine. My mum scoffed from behind him, arms folded tight, eyes sharp like broken glass. It was always part of the family. We just didn't want to say it out loud. Lucas, you never asked for the deed. You just assumed. That's not how the world works, or so it's mine if I ask nicely. If I put it in writing, not when I'm on my knees pulling up rotten floors, bleeding into the walls for 6 years. My voice cracked open, loud, too loud, the neighbor's curtains twitching. But I didn't care anymore. Nora stepped forward, smug in her designer jeans, her engagement ring catching the sun like it was laughing in my face. Come on, Lucas, it's not personal. You had your time. Owen and I are just starting our lives. You'll find something else. I stared at her, my older sister, my parents' pride, and for the first time in years, I saw her clearly, not as the golden child, but as the final nail in my coffin. She wasn't asking, she was taking. I saved this place when it was falling apart. You were all ready to let it rot, but I stayed. I built this house. I turned toward my dad. You didn't even show up when the roof caved in. I slept in a moldy kitchen for 3 weeks, and you want me to just leave? You've got 72 hours, my mum said flatly, tossing a folded piece of paper on the porch like a warning shot. We already gave notice to the utilities. Make it easy, Lucas. Don't drag this out. The world spun, my knees almost gave out. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut and told to thank them for it. Narrator, monologue pulling the audience in. That's how it started. Not with a warning, not with a conversation, but with a deadline. 72 hours. To erase 6 years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice. To pack up the life I'd carved from nothing. To walk away from the only place that ever felt like mine. This wasn't just a house. It was my sanctuary, my battle, my healing. But to them, it was a transaction. And to her, my sister, it was a gift. They smiled, pretending they were doing what was best for the family. But I knew what this was. It was betrayal, disguised as celebration, a theft written in cursive and wrapped in ribbon. And the worst part, they thought I'd roll over, that I'd nod, thank them, and disappear like I'd never existed. They were wrong. Back to scene. The showdown continues. I want it in writing, I growled, stepping closer to my father. I want it in writing that I gave you $40,000. When the bank was ready to take this place, I want you to say it. Right here, right now. My dad's jaw clenched. Don't get emotional, son. You're damn right I'm emotional. I snapped. You conned me, you made promises, and now you're handing my life over like it's a birthday present. It's not your life, Lucas, my mum said coldly. It's a house. You were just... renting. Something inside me snapped. A house. I laughed, but it wasn't humor. It was hollow, broken. You ever scrub black mold out of your bedroom? Walls with bleach and a toothbrush at 2 a.m. while trying to hit a client deadline just so you don't freeze to death? You ever go 3 winters without heat because you're saving for a new roof? No, you were never here, but I was. Nora stepped between us now, fake tears in her voice, trying to sound sweet. Lucas, don't ruin this for me. Ruin this. My voice shot up. You're stealing it. She blinked. Mom and Dad said. Of course they did. I said, because they've always said what you wanted to hear. My dad's face turned red. We don't owe you anything. We gave you a place to live. You should be grateful. I stared at him. Grateful. Grateful for the rot I scraped off the walls. For the nights I went hungry while paying them rent and their mortgage. For believing them when they said someday. They thought I was weak. They forgot I built that house with my bare hands. They forgot I still had every receipt. They forgot that even a quiet man remembers how to fight. Narrator commentary. Power transition begins that day. Standing on that porch, everything changed. The boy who asked for approval died, and the man who earned every inch of that home woke up. They wanted me out. Fine, but I wasn't leaving empty-handed. They stole from me, lied to me, tossed me aside like a stray dog, and they thought I'd just disappear into the wind. But I was the storm. Have you ever had to fight for something that was rightfully yours? Ever been stabbed in the back by your own family? Tell me in the comments. Because I'm not the only one. And this story, this fight, it's just getting started. I was 28 when I moved into the cottage. Not because I bought it, not because anyone gifted it to me, but because I was desperate. Desperate for space, desperate for silence, desperate for something that felt like it could be mine. My parents didn't give it to me. They offered it up like a favor, like I should be grateful they even mentioned it. It's practically yours. Lucas, my mum had said, with that same tight smile she wore when correcting waiters or bargaining at garage sales. Rent it for half the going rate. That's fair, isn't it? Fair. That word meant something different in their mouths. The cottage was a wreck when I stepped inside. The walls were yellow with smoke stains, the air thick with mildew. The deck leaned like it was drunk, and every window whistled when the wind picked up. The first time it rained, I found 7 leaks in the roof and 3 in the walls, but the bones were strong. It had potential, I saw it, and for the first time in my life, I didn't have to ask for permission to create something. So I rolled up my sleeves. I worked during the day, freelance gigs, odd jobs, any graphic design contract I could grab. I designed flyers for yoga classes and logos for fishermen who barely checked their email. At night, I gutted that house one splinter at a time. I ripped out the floorboards, pried up rusted nails with my bare hands until my knuckles bled. I slept in a sleeping bag on concrete for weeks. I lived off instant noodles and cold coffee. I showered at the gym for 2 months while I redid the bathroom plumbing with YouTube tutorials and borrowed tools. Every time I looked at that cottage, I didn't see a broken house. I saw my future. I painted the walls, driftwood gray. Then I hated it, so I painted over it with warm cedar. Still hated it, so I painted it again, sea glass green. That one stuck. When the old heater gave out during the second winter, I saved up for 3 months to buy a new one, pulled it in, myself wired it alone. It groaned less, which felt like a win. The porch railings came next, then the sink, the bathroom tiles. I found old cedar boards at a salvage yard and turned them into floating bookshelves. I custom built a desk in the corner by the window. I fixed the windows themselves, sealed every crack with my fingers until not a single draft got through. And slowly, the place stopped creaking like it wanted to die. It started to breathe. That house was never just walls and wood. It was healing. It was mine in every way that mattered, except the one that involved paperwork. My parents would drop by occasionally, not to help, never to help, just to inspect. My dad would pace the porch like he was inspecting a flipped property. "You're turning this place around, Lucas," he'd say, and I used to think that was his way of saying I'm proud of you. My mum would walk through the living room, her eyes pausing on the new fan, the new fixtures, the little plants I'd placed on the windowsill. "This will be worth a fortune someday," she said once, her voice thick with meaning. I thought she meant for me. I wanted to believe she meant me. But when you grow up as the afterthought, you learn to settle for crumbs and convince yourself it's cake. I have an older sister, Nora, 4 years older and 4 lifetimes more favored. Growing up, she got the violin lessons. I got her hand-me-down sketch pads. She got a car when she graduated. I got a pat on the back and a reminder that gas isn't free. When she wanted to go to grad school, my parents wrote the check without blinking. When I asked for help buying a computer to run my design software, they offered me a brochure for financing. But I didn't hate her. Not back then. Nora was always polished, clean, charismatic. She didn't rub it in. She didn't have to. My parents did it for her. Every time they looked at her with beaming pride and looked at me like I was the family dog that learned a trick too late. So when the phone call came 2 years ago, my dad's voice shaking, my mum's silence behind him, I didn't see the trap. I only saw the family I kept trying to believe in. "We're in deep, Lucas," my dad had said. "We took a $40,000 loan against the cottage. The bank's on our back. We're going to lose it if we don't catch up." I froze. "Why would you do that?" Medical bills. "Your mum's prescriptions." It was a hard year. My mum finally spoke, sweet and sharp as ever. "You've made this place your own, Lucas. You care about it. If you help us save it, it'll be yours someday. We swear. We'll make it official once the storm passes." $40,000. I had it barely. It was every dollar I'd saved across 6 years. My emergency fund. My future. My hard-earned proof that I wasn't a failure. Asterisk, and I gave it to them, not because I trusted them, because I wanted to trust them. Asterisk, because they were my parents, and I kept hoping that one day they'd finally see me. Asterisk, I wired the money, kept paying rent, kept fixing things, kept hoping that someday would finally arrive. Asterisk, instead, last month, I got a text message from my sister. Asterisk, Lucas, I'm engaged to Owen. We're throwing a barbecue at his parents' place. You have to come. I went. Of course I went. Asterisk, she was excited. Owen was good to her. I had no reason to believe there was poison hiding behind the smoke and laughter. Asterisk, the view was stunning. Waves crashing against cliffs. The grill hot. Music playing. I smiled, hugged Owen, caught up with old friends. I even danced with Nora, under string lights while she laughed about wedding planning. And then it happened. My dad climbed onto a picnic table, clapped his hands, and shouted over the music, "Quiet down, everyone." The crowd hushed. My mum stood beside him, practically glowing. Asterisk, we're so proud of Nora, my dad boomed. She's building a life with Owen, and we wanted to give her and her future a proper start. Asterisk, he reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Asterisk, I blinked, not even registering what was happening. He handed it to Nora. She opened it and gasped, her hands covering her mouth. Asterisk, Mum, Dad, this is incredible, she said, choking back tears. Asterisk, my mum stepped forward, her voice loud and triumphant. Asterisk, it's the deed to the beach cottage, she said. The crowd erupted in cheers. I didn't move. Asterisk, I couldn't. The world blurred. My heart cracked open like a rotted beam. Asterisk, I stood there, gripping a plastic cup until it crumbled in my hand. 6 years. $40,000. Asterisk, every nail, every bolt, every sleepless night gone, just like that. Gifted to her. To them. Asterisk, like I'd never existed. That moment, that was my funeral. The death of every illusion I'd clung to. They didn't just give away a house. They erased me. But I wasn't going to stay buried. Not this time. Asterisk. When you're told to leave the only home you've ever really had, they expect tears, a quiet exit, maybe a hug goodbye. What they don't expect is fire in your bones. The night after that barbecue, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling. In the cottage I'd built with my own hands, every inch of it had a memory. That ceiling fan, I wired it the week the heat wave hit. The cedar floors, paid for by 3 back-to-back projects that nearly broke me. The porch railing, sanded for hours till my hands blistered. Asterisk, all of it, mine, and they thought I'd just walk away. They gave me 72 hours. Fine. Let's see what I can do in 72 hours. The next morning, I called Sam, my best friend, the kind of person you never have to explain anything to. The kind who shows up, no questions asked. Asterisk, I didn't even get through the whole sentence before he cut me off. Asterisk, bro, crash at my cousin's place. He's in Thailand for 2 months. It's empty. Keys are under the mat. You need anything, I'm there. Asterisk, that offer saved my sanity, and it sparked an idea. Asterisk, I called the crew next. Guys I'd worked with on side gigs, cabinet makers, flooring, specialists, electricians, all of them owed me favors. I cashed in every one. Asterisk, strip it, I told them. Take everything that can come out. If I paid for it, I want it on the truck by sunset. They showed up by noon. We started with the floorboards, the cedar I'd carefully placed down. Piece by piece, ripped up in reverse like a silent rebellion. Each creak of wood felt like a scream answered. Then the sink, the one I saved up for after my 3rd viral design client, brushed steel, custom fit, pulled out in 15 minutes. The heater, the ceiling fan. Asterisk, the built-in shelves I crafted from salvaged redwood. The entire porch railing, gone. Asterisk, if I couldn't have the house, they wouldn't have what I built inside it. Asterisk, by sundown, the place was hollow. Echoes bounced off the walls. The soul was gone. I wasn't vandalizing. I was reclaiming. Asterisk, they gave me no contract, no deed, no acknowledgement, but I had the receipts. Every Home Depot order, every Cash App transaction, every PayPal invoice for the heater, the fan, the wood, the tiles, everything. I loaded it all into 2 trucks. Sam helped me unload it at the empty house, the new place. A quiet street near the bay, just far enough from town that no one came knocking. Asterisk, and when I stepped inside, surrounded by everything I'd built, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I breathed. Asterisk, for the first time in weeks. Then I mailed the keys back to my parents, with a note. Asterisk, it's yours. As requested. By dawn, my phone exploded. Asterisk my mum's number popped up first. I let it ring. Then the texts came flying in. Mum, what did you do? Asterisk, Dad, this is destruction of property. Asterisk, Nora, you're ruining everything. What's wrong with you? I waited. Then I picked up when she finally called again, her voice hot with rage. Asterisk, you vandalized our house. Lucas. Asterisk, no, I said calmly. I took back what's mine. Asterisk, you can't just gut the whole place. Asterisk, check the receipts, I replied. Every piece of that house I paid for. Every nail, every shelf, every pipe. You said it was yours. Fine, then you get it exactly the way I found it, rotting and worthless. You selfish little, you lied to me. I cut her off, cold and sharp. You took my money, my labor, my trust, and handed it to someone else like a party favor. This is what selfish looks like. Mum, you just didn't think I'd ever show it to you. There was silence on the other end. Then she tried to spin it. Asterisk. Maybe that $40,000 was meant as a wedding gift. Maybe we just misunderstood each other. I laughed. Not the good kind. Asterisk, the kind that comes after a break. The kind you feel in your teeth. Asterisk, you didn't misunderstand. You manipulated me. You bled me dry. And you thought I'd thank you for it. But I wasn't done because there was one more thing they thought they still owned. My truck. Asterisk, 4 years ago. I loaned it to them when my dad's old car broke down. Just for a few weeks, he said. Until we figure something out. Asterisk, weeks. Became years. Asterisk, they never gave it back. Never registered it under their name. Just used it. Asterisk, because to them, everything of mine was eventually theirs, but I still had the title. Still paid the insurance. Asterisk. Still paid the taxes. Asterisk, so I called the tow company. Asterisk, pick it up, I said, giving them my parents' address. 1999, Ford F150 registered in my name. 1 hour later, the driver called. Got it. They yelled a bit, but once I showed them the title, they backed off. Asterisk, another part of me reclaimed. I didn't do it to hurt them. Asterisk, I did it to stop hurting, to end the cycle, to break free from the years of being almost enough. People talk about revenge like it's ugly, but sometimes, taking back what's yours, that's not revenge, that's healing. Asterisk, they still call sometimes, I don't answer. Asterisk, they've started showing up in town, talking to people, telling their version that I snapped, that I stole from them. Asterisk, but anyone who really knows me. Asterisk, they don't ask what happened. Asterisk, they just look me in the eye and say, about time. Some people think your biggest enemies wear different uniforms. Asterisk, but sometimes, they have your last name. Asterisk, they say family should protect you, love you, lift you. Asterisk, but what do you become when they don't? Asterisk, when they break you. I'm finding out. And I'm building something new, something no one can steal. Call to action, end of section 3. Asterisk, have you ever been used by the people you trusted most? Asterisk, have you ever had to take your life back, piece by piece? Asterisk, tell me in the comments. Your story deserves to be heard too. Asterisk. A month passed. The calls from my parents slowed. Nora got married in that empty shell of a cottage with folding chairs and paper lanterns. Because I'd taken the lights, people said it was awkward, stripped down. A few even asked why. Wasn't there. Asterisk. Nora told them I was too dramatic. Let them believe that. Let them think I was the villain. Asterisk, because I wasn't trying to win a popularity contest. Asterisk, I was trying to breathe. Asterisk. Then came the letter. A brown envelope with my name in block print. No return address. I almost tossed it. Thought it was junk, but something made me open it. Inside was a printed statement. From the First National Bank, my name, a transaction list, a loan account I didn't recognize. Asterisk, and at the bottom, in bold, asterisk greater than loan paid in full. $40,312.49 via direct transfer from Lucas R. Bennett. My hands went cold. This was the loan. I thought I was helping them pay off. Asterisk, they told me it was their mortgage in danger, that the bank was going to take the house if I didn't help. I wired the money immediately, no questions, because that's what family does, right? Asterisk, only this loan wasn't in their name. It was in Nora's, her fiancé's, renovation. Loan taken against the property after I'd fixed it up. Asterisk, meaning, asterisk, they used the value I built to take out a loan for her wedding. I felt like I'd swallowed a brick. My pulse thundered in my ears. My vision went tight. Asterisk, it was one thing to betray me, asterisk, but to use me, asterisk, to literally profit off my labor and hand it to someone else. That wasn't just betrayal. That was calculated. I drove straight to the bank, asterisk, walked in with the statement in my hand, and rage in my bones, asterisk, a teller greeted me, fake smile, rehearsed lines, asterisk, I need to speak with someone about a loan, that was paid off in my name, I said, asterisk, she blinked. Are you saying it's fraud? Asterisk, I don't know what I'm saying, I replied, but someone's lying and I'm done being quiet about it. They sent me to an office in the back. A man in a navy suit asked for ID, pulled up my account, asterisk, his eyes flicked over the screen, then he paused. Looks like the loan in question was created 6 months ago, he said, scrolling. It was used to finance major renovations, decking, roofing, landscaping. The collateral was the Cottage. Property listed under Moran and Harold Bennett, with Nora Bennett and Jason Grant as co-signers. My heart dropped. They took out a loan on the house I was living in. Asterisk, he nodded slowly. Technically, yes. Once the appraisal came in higher, probably after the improvements, they used it to secure a HELOC home equity line of credit. Asterisk, and then I paid it off. Asterisk, you did. Asterisk, why would I pay off a loan I didn't take out? The banker hesitated. Then he turned the screen toward me. Asterisk, an email from my mother's account, sent the same day I wired the funds. Asterisk, greater than Lucas is helping us pay down the balance. Please confirm payment when it clears. He insisted, said he wanted to support his sister's new beginning. I stared at the screen. My breath left my lungs. Asterisk, I whispered, they lied to me. Again, I walked out of that bank numb. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about respect, truth, dignity. They didn't just steal my house, they turned my generosity into a weapon against me. Asterisk, used my love to fund someone else's life. Asterisk, and the worst part, they thought I'd never find out. Asterisk, that night, I didn't sleep, again, but this time, I wasn't frozen. I was focused. I dug through old texts, emails, every screenshot, every promise, every receipt. Then I started writing a letter, not to them, to their lawyer, to my lawyer, to the land registrar, asterisk, to the Better Business Bureau, listing my father's small construction company for ethical violations, asterisk, to the IRS, noting undeclared property improvements, asterisk, you see, when you play games with people's hearts, that's emotional, asterisk, but when you manipulate money, that's fraud, asterisk. The next morning, I sent everything, then I did the one thing they never expected. I showed up at their door, not to scream, not to cry, but to let them know. I knew, asterisk. My mother opened it. Her eyes widened. Lucas, I held up a folder, asterisk. Here are copies of every document I sent, every agency, every official. You've got about 3 weeks before they come asking questions. Lucas, don't do this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just undoing what you did. Asterisk. She looked behind her, nervous. Let's talk inside. Asterisk. No. We're done talking. You told me this house would be mine. You took my money, my time, my name, and used it all to build a future I wasn't even invited to. Her lip trembled. Then she snapped. You're overreacting. This is family. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. I laughed, cold, hollow. I made sacrifices every day for 6 years. I just didn't realize I was the only one bleeding. I turned to leave. She grabbed my wrist. Lucas, please, don't destroy the family. I looked her straight in the eyes. You already did. They say truth sets you free. Asterisk, but first, it breaks every illusion you ever clung to. Asterisk, they taught me loyalty, but forgot to show me honesty. They taught me family means sacrifice. Asterisk, but never warned me about being the only one sacrificing. Asterisk. Now, I don't need their approval. I have my proof, and the only thing I'm building now is a life on my own terms. Call to action. End of section. For asterisk. Have you ever been betrayed with a smile? Asterisk. Has your trust ever been weaponized against you? Asterisk. Drop. If you know the pain and the power of taking your life back. Asterisk. It's been 8 months, 8 long, quiet, healing months, since I walked away from the only family I ever knew, since I took back my power, piece by piece, and built something they couldn't steal. Asterisk. You're probably wondering if they apologized, if my mother ever called, if my father ever tried to make it right. Asterisk. The short answer, no. The long answer, they tried to silence me instead. Asterisk. A few weeks after I filed everything, they got scared. Asterisk. Not of me, but of the paper trail. Asterisk. The IRS launched an audit. The renovation costs I paid for not reported. My father's small business got flagged. The gifted cottage triggered scrutiny about unrecorded property transfers. Asterisk. And suddenly, I wasn't the disappointment. I was the liability. Asterisk they sent. A letter, one sentence stuck out. Greater than if you drop the complaints, we're willing to sign over a share of the property. Share, not the house, not an apology. Just a slice of a pie they'd already eaten in front of me. I didn't respond, because I wasn't fighting for the house anymore. I was fighting for me. So I built something new. Asterisk with the savings I had left, and the skills they never respected, I bought a rundown garage on the edge of town. Asterisk crumbling walls, rusted doors, leaking pipes. It looked like nothing, just like the cottage did. Asterisk, but I saw potential, because I know what it means to create value out of ruins. Asterisk, I spent every weekend scraping, painting, rebuilding. Neighbors stopped by, curious. Some asked if I was a contractor. Others asked if I needed help. One guy, a retired plumber named Henry, brought over tools and said, "You remind me of me, 30 years ago." That sentence hit harder than he knew, because for the first time, I wasn't invisible, I was seen. Asterisk 6 months later, I opened the doors to Bennett Auto and Woodworks. Asterisk a hybrid shop, part restoration garage, part custom carpentry studio. Asterisk every plank, every bolt, every inch of the place. Mine, no one could take it. Asterisk no one could rewrite it. Asterisk no one could gift it to someone else. I didn't tell my parents. Asterisk didn't invite them to the opening, didn't send pictures, but word gets around in a small town. Asterisk especially when the local paper writes a full-page feature titled, asterisk from nothing to everything, local man rebuilds his life. After family fallout, a week after that article ran, I saw her, my mother. She was parked across the street from the shop. Asterisk engine off, sunglasses on. She never came in, just sat there for 15 minutes. Asterisk, then drove away. 3 days later, I got a card in the mail. No envelope, just a folded note. Inside were 3 words, greater than we were wrong. That was it. No name, no return address, but I recognized the handwriting. Asterisk I stared at it for a long time. Part of me wanted to cry, another part wanted to scream. Asterisk, but the biggest part, asterisk just felt done, like I'd finally buried something that had haunted me for years. Their guilt wasn't my closure. My life was. People think betrayal ends with revenge, but the truth, it ends with indifference. The moment they can't hurt you anymore. Asterisk. That's the real victory. I spent years begging for scraps, years thinking I had to earn love by breaking my back. Asterisk now, I don't beg, I don't build for anyone who wouldn't lift a hammer beside me. Asterisk. And I don't care if they regret it, because I'm not looking back. Asterisk. Asterisk, what would you have done? Asterisk, would you have stayed quiet? Asterisk, would you have burned it all down? Asterisk, or would you have rebuilt your life? One nail, one brick, one breath at a time. Tell me in the comments. Your story matters, too.